Hello, today we're going to perform the interlocking contact. This app created by engineer Louis Huera. This app name is EWS Electrical Wiring Simulator. You can download this app to the Google Play. So let's start. The relay number 5 interlocking relay. Let's play. So we will apply the interlocking here. So let me explain this first. If I press this PB2, holding press the PB2, the R1 will energize because the PB2 represent the R1, and this and if I press this PB3 holding press, the R2 will energize because the PB1 represent the R2. So the function, if I click if I press this holding PB2 with holding press, the R1 is already energized. No matter how we press the PB3, this R2 not turn on. So we have to release the finger first before we can turn on this PB3. So if I press this PB3 by holding, the R2 will energize, and no matter how we press this PB2, this R1 cannot turn on. So that is the function of the interlocking contact. So we proceed the electrical diagram. I will explain this. The PB2 represent to the R1 relay, and the PB3 represent the R2 relay. And this normally close contact here will represent the interlocking contact. So this R1 and R2 is opposite. And if you have the R1 relay here, you have an R2 normally close contact here, and if you have R2 relay here, you have a R1 normally close contact here, and it's opposite because that's why they called interlocking contact. So how it works, if we press this PB2 by holding press, the current will be able to flow in the R1 to the 0 volts. If the relay will energize, if the relay 1 will energize, all the contactor 1 normally open will close, and all normally close contactor R1 will open here. That's why if the R1 energize, you cannot press the PB3 because the R1 normally open, it is already energized and will open. The R1 contact will open. That's why the current cannot cross here. So if I release this, you can now start or press the PB3 by holding. If you press the PB3 by holding, the current will be able to flow here and cross here because this contact will back to close. That's why the current cross here. And if the R2 relay will energize, all the contact, normally open contact in R2 will close, and this is energized, and all the normally closed R2 will open. That's why again, if the R2 will energize, this current will cannot flow because the R2 is open. So let's start wiring. From 24 volts to the input of the PB2. Output of the PB2 to 13. From 14 to 9 relay 2. From relay 1 to the 0 volts. So we have done to the first rung, so let's proceed to the second rung. Input of the PB3, you can connect to the input of the PB1. From the output of the PB3 to the R213. To 14 to 9. From 1 to 1. Instead of 1 to 0, we can choose 1 to R2 1. From R1 1 to the R1 1. In the third rung, I proceed to the third rung. From 10 to input of PB3. From 6 to input of the PL2. From the output of the PL2, it is easy to connect the R11. In the port rung from 10 to the, we can connect from 10 to the pivot input of the PB3. From 6 to input of the PL3. From the output of the PL3, we can connect to the R11. From the output of the PL3, we can connect to the output of the PL2. So let's submit. 14 wired pass. So let's start to simulate this. If we press holding the PB2, the R1 will energize. The PL2 will turn on, and you cannot press the PB3. And if you want the PB3 will turn, we release this PB2 and we press the PB3 to energize the R2. So energize the R2, PL3 will light, and you cannot press the PB2. So that's it. This is the interlocking contact. Thank you very much.